Alright, so this is the official tutorial on how to make luscious and lazy bushes. I got my matcha latte. I'm very excited. Okay, so before I get into my drawing application and actually show you guys, I kind of just want to run down some of the things that we're going to be talking about in today's lesson. So the first thing I want to talk about is how I set up my canvas. Like the screen size, basically like the brushes that I like to use, and kind of show you guys what those brushes look like. And then I want to talk about lighting and references because that is very important. And then I'm going to do a little breakdown demonstration of how I personally go about approaching my artworks. This is a very stylized and simple version, and it's not up to everyone's preferences, and you can definitely add more to it or take away and add your own style to it. I think this is just a very good way to get that very nice illustrative quality in your art. Okay, so let's just hop right into Procreate, which is the application I'll be using today, and go from there. Okay, so right when I open up Procreate, I want to set up my canvas size, right? So you go to this plus icon and then you can see all the different canvas sizes and the recent sizes you used. I'm just gonna go and stick to screen size because I am dumb and I don't know what size I should use. And this works for me, and so I'm just gonna do that. But use the screen size that you want for your like logos or for little postcards. Yeah, so we're gonna hop right into it. This is my canvas, and you can see it is set up already with this mid-tone gray, and I like working with a mid-tone gray for studies and for just practicing and showing you guys my my bush tutorial, because this better kind of shows you your shadows and your highlights. So yeah, all right, so I am now going to show you guys the brushes that I use. So let's see, this is the main brushes that I use. We have the Gladys soft brush, the soft roller brush, and this is basically just like its name. Let's just do a random color and you can see how that looks like. So this is kind of like a squared brush. I love this for adding textures, and I just absolutely love this. And then I have my soft and scratchy, and that's kind of like a sketching brush, and just like its name, it has a little bit of texture. So everything, all my brushes are very textured. I just love texture, and especially when I'm drawing flora and fauna and landscapes, I think it's very important to add a little bit of texture, even if you're drawing something very simple, because it gives a little bit more dimension and interest into your painting. Right, so this is what it looks like. You can see it's very, very textured, very great for sketching. And then I like to use this one here that says Jelly Brush Stroke, it is the last one right here. And this is basically adding, I guess, textures. Looks like this. Kind of looks like water, or I don't know, like hair or fur or something like that. But I love adding that, especially if I let's say lower the opacity and maybe choose like a different color, and then I kind of go like this. See, it just adds very, very nice texture. This is really great for anything, just adding that extra flair. And then I like to use a airbrush tool, which is the soft brush. And I mainly use this for lighting and adding soft glow, anything that I want to be less harsh, sharp, and textured. Yep, just your basic soft airbrush tool. And that's basically the three main brushes I use. I additionally use other brushes like I have here called Jelly Round Brush. Great. Looks like this. Also very textured, very, I guess, jelly, jelly-like. But yeah, these are basically the brushes that I use most often. It is the Jelly Round Brush, the Soft Brush, the Jelly Brush Stroke, Soft and Scratchy, Gladys Soft Roller Brush. Not so much of these last two, but yeah. Oh, hello? Okay, yeah, so this is basically all the brushes I use, and I got these brushes just from like watching other artists and just like online there's like a whole market for like brushes that you can download and purchase, and I know not everybody has the money to purchase these brushes. You can definitely use the preset brushes in Procreate or whatever drawing application that you have. Just choose one that's textured, or even not textured, just choose one that feels comfortable to you and basically like an extension of your own hands, because it really doesn't matter which brush you use. But this is just the brushes that I like to use with textures, and yeah. All right, so next I want to talk about lighting and references. So it is very important to look at references online. Really study where the lighting is coming from, really study where your shadows are, where your highlights are, and what kind of environment you're looking at, right? Is it a sunny day? Is it a cloudy kind of day? Is the atmosphere very bright and cheerful? Or is it very dark and eerie? Because a lot of basically whatever that vibe of your reference is and what you're going for can really affect the way that you paint and draw and place your shadows and your highlights, and even influence the colors that you use. So for lighting, I'm not gonna go too much in depth about that, but this is just the basic overview. So I have this photo reference that I pulled up, and I believe this is from Proco. So on this sphere, you can see there's the center light, and then the highlight, the halftones, the core shadow, the reflected light, which is also called bounce light, which is my, I guess, favorite way of calling it and remembering it. And then a Colgin shadow, and then your cast shadow. So this is basically what you have to remember when you are drawing pretty much anything. And where you place your, let's say, your core shadow or your reflected light, your highlight, again, really depends on your lighting situation. So really try to study your references and see where your source of light is coming from. Is it coming from the left side, or is it coming from the right side? Is it coming from the top or the bottom, from the back? What kind of lighting situation is it? And another lighting, I guess, situation I want you to pay attention to, especially for like outdoors kind of painting, like even if you're not a landscape artist, and you're drawing characters maybe outside, this is something that you still have to remember, and this is called subsurface scattering. So what is subsurface scattering? It's basically a phenomenon when light passes through a translucent or semi-translucent object and scatters. Okay, so I pulled up an example here by CG Cookie on DeviantArt, and they have really great examples of subsurface scattering. So you can see the hand up, and when light is basically coming from, I guess, the back of the hand, what that looks like, the flame on a candle, the lemon. So if you're drawing, you know, in outdoors kind of setting, and it's a very cloudy day, then you're going to have very soft, diffused lighting instead of a really sharp lighting. Also, you know, water, if you're drawing something like a river, it's going to have a little bit of that scattering. So if you have like bushes that are close to like the riverbank, for example, it will get a little bit of that subsurface scattering light. So maybe to add a little bit more interest, you want to add a little bit of that blue that's from the water onto your bushes to give it a little bit more interest and even some realism. That is done. Lighting is done. Canvas setup is done. So now I want to go ahead and show you guys a little demo of how I go about drawing these luscious, these simp-worthy bushes, all right? Also, I want you to keep in mind while you're drawing pretty much anything to not see your object for what it is. So when you look at a bush, don't think like, ah, that's a bush. Like, yes, you're right, it is a bush, but I don't want you guys to, I don't know, paint as if that is like a bush, if that makes sense. I want you guys to really see the shapes, the forms, the values, and just really see like what is the overall shape of your bush, right? Where are your shadows? Where are your highlights, right? Is there some kind of bounce light going on? What about your cast shadow? Which direction is it, right? Where is the light coming from? Those are things I want you guys to think about. So when you want to draw these very simplified illustrations, you don't want to see it as that object. You don't want to see it as like a bush or a tree. You want to see it as forms and shapes. You just want to kind of give the vagueness, the impression of a bush, but you don't want to go all up into realism and every single little detail and draw every single tree branch, every single twig, every single leaf. That would take way too long. That being said, let's hop on to the screen and let me show you guys the demo. We're gonna keep this very simple, and when it comes to your drawings, also keep it very simple. You just want a color palette of like 4, 5 colors, nothing too crazy. So just to keep it very, very simple, we're going to use, let's say we're gonna use this dark greenish blue, or I guess like teal, this teal color. And I'm going to select my Gladys Soft roller brush. If you don't have that, just select a brush, a textured brush that you can create like the overall form or the base shape with. All right, so this is the shape of my bush. It kind of looks like a pom-pom, and that's kind of what we want. We want a little pom-pom. All right, and this is gonna be the darkest color in our color palette. So let me actually just do this. There we go. And then we're gonna go and use our mid-tone green color. And study your reference and see where your mid-tones are. So for me, like I said, if the light's coming from above and from the right side, that means most of the shadow and the darker values is going to be on the left. And then on the right side is where we're going to make it a bit more brighter and add our glow and our highlights. So we're gonna just go again and pretty much like follow the same pom-pom kind of thing that we did in our base color. Doesn't really look like much of anything, just looks like blobs. That's okay, trust the process. That's what we want. We want pom-poms, we want blobs, we just want the impression, right? Just the impression. So once our mid-tone is done, we're gonna go in to our light, I was gonna say light tone. That doesn't make sense. We're just going into our lightest colored green. Ooh, yes. Lovely. Very nice. Ooh. Ooh, okay. This is what we have right now. Again, just looks like blobs. That's what we want. Okay? Now we're going to create a new layer, because even though this is very simple, maybe you don't like the placement and stuff, so create a new layer on top. And then we're going to use a lighter color for our bubbles and doodles. All right, so I like to use just, yeah, a very light color. Maybe do a little bit more yellow so it looks like the light is there. And then we're going to do our little bubbles and doodles. What is that? What the fuck is that? I don't really know how to explain it, but it basically looks like this. Little bunny ears, little raindrops, or yeah, little leaves like this, and then we're gonna do little marks like this. And that's basically it. And then that's how you can kind of give an impression that there's actually leaves poking through the bush. So we're gonna do that like so. Ooh, ooh, lovely, beautiful. All right, and then don't overdo it. I think this is pretty much, this is pretty much done. I think this is good, right? Yeah, it's good. It's good. You can probably, you know, get a different color, same from your same color palette, and just go like this for more beautiful variations. Yay! And then we're gonna do our little squiggles or a little dots like this. Oh my god, so cute! Why so cute? Oh my god, so cute. Right. Yay! Oh my god, that's so cute. Okay, I'm so happy. Now what I like to do is I like to add a glow effect to really further kind of like create context, like this is where the lighting is coming from, and just make these bushes a little bit more magical, a little bit more luscious, a little bit more glowy, snatched. Yes. And now for the glow layer, I want to create like sunlight, so I want something very warm, maybe like this yellow. Take a soft airbrush tool, and then we're going to very gently paint it on to our bush. See? Very, very luscious. Okay, now if you want even more of a stronger effect, we're going to just duplicate that glow layer, and then we're going to turn this glow layer into an add layer. So this is what it looks like. Damn, she snatched. She very snatched. You can also go to this, I don't know what it's called, like adjustments settings. So this is one that looks like a pencil with the sparkles. Click on hue, saturation, and brightness. And then if you're like, oh my god, she, like, what happened? Like, too snatched, bro. Okay, then you lower brightness, increase saturation, and yeah, honestly, I like her very snatched. Like, this is nice. I love it. Okay, ta-da! And you have completed your lazy, simple, stylized, luscious bushes. Yay! And then I want to show you guys another kind of variation, but instead of talking you guys through it, I'm gonna just do a demo, and hopefully you guys can see the steps that I've taken. It's basically the same thing as the first half, the first bush that we did, but you can see now that the lighting is going to be from the back, also called a rim light, which I just learned. Yay! Yay for knowledge. So yeah, we're just going to go and into montage mode. right, so these are my 2 bushes. Basically, just to recap everything, you want to first study your reference photo. Always look at your reference photo, never from your imagination, because that's basically like writing a research paper out from your butt. Like that doesn't work. Okay, so just look at your reference photo, study the lighting, study the atmosphere, the environment, and then set up your canvas and set up your brushes that you're going to use, your palettes that you're going to use, right? Get your highlights, get your mid-tone shades, your core shadow shades, and don't have a huge palette, just keep it very simple, 3 to 5, okay? And then for actual drawing the bushes, create a base shape. First, pom-pom shape with your darkest shade, and then layer your midtones on top, layer your lightest color on top, and then for flair and to really convey that this is a bush and there's leaves coming out, draw some bubbles, like leaf shapes, the bunny ear shapes, and then if you would like, you can add some kind of glow layer to get a very snatched bush. Yes, and that's basically it. I hope you guys found this tutorial a little bit helpful. Hope you guys liked this tutorial. Hope you guys found it helpful or part of it helpful. And yeah, go out there and paint some very nice snatched glowy bushes. You can find me on Instagram. Subscribe to this channel for more art videos and tutorials. Hope you guys have a lovely day, afternoon, or evening, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!